Hello, everybody out there in podcast world and podcast land. Welcome to the True Podcast with your boy Justin J. Will, whatever you want to call me. Hope you guys are doing well out there, man, on your Friday. Made it through another work week. Whatever it was for you, rest week. You made it. You managed to make it to the True, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys. I'm doing alright besides fighting some allergies here and now. It's all warm out here in these streets. You know, it's been raining and you got all sorts of stuff in the air and pollen and dandelions and weeds all over the place. So I've been blowing my nose and sneezing. You know, typical time of the year where the allergies start kicking your butt. So besides that, I'm doing alright, man. So I wasn't for sure exactly what I want to talk about today. I mean, I got this freaking paper right here. Y'all hear that? It's my paper. You know, I like to write stuff down before I actually get on to record. And I like to try to have some type of structure to the podcast. But today, I don't know, man. I'm kind of just all over the place. I can't really make a decision on what it is I really want to talk about. So I'm kind of just going to go. Die with y'all if I just go. I'm just going to go, man. So one thing for sure I know I want to talk about is I want to talk about this whole Kanye West situation, man. So we know what's going on with Kanye. Unless you've been living under a rock. We know what's going on with him and the whole supporting Donald Trump and coming out with the Making America Great Again hat on and saying that slavery was a choice. Just coming out with these outrageous statements and just being crazy Kanye. So here on the Truth, I like to look at these types of situations and I like to take something positive from it, man. See if we can take good nuggets of information from it. Because this is a very negative story. You know, it's a lot of negative reaction. And for good reason. You know, I'm not gonna deny that. For good reason. It's a lot of negative reaction. So let's see if we can take something from it and convert a little bit of that negative energy into positive energy here. Give you some wisdom going into your weekend, man. Y'all know how we do it on Cheat Truth. So, you know, I look at this situation, man. First of all, let me say, well, before I say that, let me say this. I'm a Kanye fan. I honestly believe that he's like top 10 as far as producer wise. Like he's a top 10 producer. Like, I don't think that you can put him outside your top 10. As far as artist wise, I still think he's a dope artist. You know, I don't know where he would rank historically in that category, but I mean he's he'll go down in the history books as a dope producer and a dope artist. But he'll definitely go down in the history books as a doper producer than an artist. So, in saying that, I believe that this is a publicity stunt. In the environment that we live in, I've talked about this before with all the boot gangs and everybody trying to get views and everybody trying to do this, that, and the third, man. I think that's a publicity stunt. He has some music coming out. He also is supposed to be producing Nas's next album. So I believe that a lot of this is just to provide a buzz. In all honesty, that's what I believe. In saying that, the thing that I think that we can take away from this situation is this, man. Now, we can argue all day and night about his comments, and we can argue all day and night about somebody, saying these types of things, whether they're right, whether they're wrong. I'm not here to argue that. I'm not here to have that debate. I'll let you guys have that debate. But one thing I will say is, and this is the lesson, that in life, there will be times where you have to stand on your word, and there will be times where you will say things and you will do things that everybody does not agree with. So, Kanye has come out with these outrageous statements, and obviously the people who agree with him are definitely far and few between, and the people who disagree with him are, plentiful. So, despite how he feels about it, he has those who agree and those who disagree with him. And that's how it's gonna be in life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you got like a strong opinion. If you got strong opinions and you have opinions that differ from everybody else's, don't be surprised if you catch a little flack. People hate what they don't understand. Like, I'm pretty sure there's people out there who look at me and like, well, why does Justin do the things he do? Why do I do the things that I do? Why do I not spend my money on all these new accessories and iPhones and, trading in my car and all that? Why don't you do that? People don't like what they don't understand. So in life, bro, if you feel like something you believe in is right, if you feel like something that you want to do is the right choice, something that you believe in is the right thing to believe in, then you should stand on it. Like, don't get scared of the backlash, because that's gonna come. That's gonna come regardless. You feel me? Like, I remember seeing this video on YouTube, and it's by a guy that I follow. Well, his name's not Valuetainment, but the name of the channel is Valuetainment. And it's actually a pretty good follow. A lot of entrepreneurial type videos, teaches you about money, stuff like that. And he had a video out that basically it was a short video too. And he was saying, in life, you have to learn how to ignore the noise. We have to learn how to ignore the noise. So no matter what, man, you're always going to have noise. There will always be conflicts going on in the world. What does the Bible say, man? There will be wars and rumors of wars. There's always going to be noise, man. There's always going to be people who don't like you. There's always going to be people who likes you. There are always going to be people who don't agree with what you got to say. There are going to be people who agree with it. People who agree to your face. People who disagree behind your back. People who, like, it's noise everywhere, man. You feel me? It's just like if you were to, let's say that you was just broke on your ass. Just broke. You'd have people out there saying, look at him, broke, homeless, look at him. Look at her. Oh, you broke, bum, you broke this, broke that. Look at her. She don't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. But then when you get money, you know what they gonna say? They gonna say, oh, well, look at her, but she don't even mess with us no more. Look, she done got a little money now. She don't even mess with us no more. You know what I'm saying? Look at her. Her head big, his head big. Look at that. He got all this money. But see, when I was broken on my ass, you claimed I needed to get money, or you wanted to make fun of me, and you wanted to call me every name under the sun. And when I get money, now I'm too good. Now I don't want to mess with you no more. But it was all good, when I was like, that's how it is. That's how life is, man. That's why you should try to satisfy yourself before you try to satisfy everybody else. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't try to satisfy everybody else, because it's impossible. That's impossible. You're not going to win that battle. You ain't winning that one. You're not satisfying everybody. You probably not even going to be able to satisfy half of everybody. That's why you should try to satisfy yourself, man. You feel me? Like, I'm that type of person. I satisfy myself. I don't let nobody trick me out my position, man. I don't let nobody tell me what to do. I don't let nobody tell me what to say. I don't let nobody tell me what to think. My thoughts are my thoughts. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. We can have that discussion. We can just agree to disagree. We can just, part ways or whatever. That's fine. But, I'm not one of those type of guys that, I'm not going to let nobody control me. I'm not going to let nobody, decide what I'm going to think or what I'm going to do. So That's how you guys should be, man. If you feel like you truly believe in something, if you truly want to do something, if you, truly believe in the words that you speak, the things that you say, the thoughts that you think, man, then just go with it. Now, whether you're right or not, now that's a whole nother debate. You feel me? Because your opinions can be wrong. That they can be disproven or whatever, right? That you can show people facts. People can think a certain thing, and then you can show them some facts, and their thoughts or whatever. The legitimacy of their opinions kind of go away. Now that's a whole nother thing. But as far as I'm concerned, if you believe in something, man, and if you really want to stand on it, then stand on it. Don't let nobody tell you different. Don't let nobody tell you different, man. If you believe that you can goddamn put out the hottest mixtape ever and sell 1 million records, then you go for it. Stand on it, man. If you believe that starting this hair business is going to be the best business ever, you're going to have people, you're going to have that noise, you're going to have that chirp, chirp, chirp. Oh, look at her trying to start a business. Look at him trying to, start a barbershop or something. Look at her. Look at her. They think they better than us, y'all. Look at them. But at the end of the day, you got to make that decision for you. If you feel like that's the best route, then you go for it. Don't let nobody tell you different. Because at the end of the day, man, you got to live for you. And you know what's best for you. Now, I'm not saying that you can't take other people's advice, because you should. You should listen to other people. But you have to have that balance of knowing who to listen to. Like, you just can't listen to everybody. You feel me? It's only certain people in this world that I really listen to and who I really take advice from. I don't just take advice from anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta have that. You gotta decide who's worth listening to and who's worth listening to and who you should just probably just not listen to. So you have to make that decision, man. But this whole Kanye thing, bro, I think that eventually it'll come out. Oh yeah, it was all this publicity stunt, and yeah, I just want to sell records. I think that that's what's gonna happen, man. But the positive message, the positive thing that we can pull out from this whole situation is, man, stand on your word and believe what you believe in. And if other people don't believe in it, if other people don't want to agree with it, then that's what it is, man. That's life. People are gonna agree with what you got to say. People are gonna disagree with what you got to say. People are going to agree with what you want to do. People are going to disagree with what you want to do. That's life. It's gonna be noise all the time. Whether you broke with nothing in the bank or you rich with something in the bank, with a lot in the bank. When you dead and gone, they're gonna still be talking. People still gonna agree. People still gonna disagree. So at the end of the day, satisfy you, believe in yourself, and stand firm on what you believe in, man. So that's my little wisdom for you guys going into the weekend, man. So hopefully it helps. Write it down, take a picture. I don't care. Do with it what you want, man. So moving right along, another thing I kind of wanted to get into that I didn't get a chance to get into the last episode because I ran longer than I wanted to, was the OKC Thunder. The OKC Thunder got eliminated at the first round of the playoffs. So those three guys, they got eliminated. Okay. By the Jazz. Now, maybe I've just been down the Jazz, man. I don't know. Maybe I just, maybe I need to watch basketball a little more. But, the Jazz don't really strike me as a team the Jazz on paper don't strike me as a team that should have beaten the OKC Thunder. But they did. And, OKC didn't look that good. So, that begs the question, Can you win a championship with Russell Westbrook? Now, we look at the OKC Thunder and we look at their situation, man. You know, Carmelo's probably going to opt in, get that 20-something mil, which, man, that's a good problem to have. Sweet Jesus. I'm telling you, man, you look at these guys, like I was saying last episode, and you have to believe that you just chased the wrong dream. I think I chased the wrong dream, y'all. I mean, I love my life I love being a software engineer, man, but sweet Jesus. Man, if I could just be Sam Bradford for a few years. If this guy's making $20 million in 1 year, and he probably won't make it off the bus. Carmelo's going to end up making like 20-something million next year. Man. Like, bro, I chased the wrong dream. I chased the wrong dream. But I know I can't be the only person that looks at these contracts and, be feeling that way, man. You look at these baseball players, $200 million contracts. Like, what in the world? Really? Like, are you serious? Man, I chased the wrong dream. But yeah, you look at the OKC Thunder, man. You look at their situation. I think Russell Westbrook, I think he actually resigned. But regardless, Russell Westbrook, 29, still young. Melo will probably be back next year. I think Playoff P. It's one of the corniest freaking nicknames. And then he gave it to himself. The rule of thumb with nicknames, man, you can't give it to yourself, bro. Somebody has to ordain you. Somebody has to give you that nickname. You can't just be out here giving yourself nicknames. Playoff P. The hell out of here with that, man. And I like Paul George. I like guys who do it on both ends of the floor. I like two-way players. That's why I like Kawhi Leonard so much, because he's a two-way player. He does it on the offensive end and he does it on the defensive end. But I think Paul George is gone. I've been saying that for a while now. I think his heart is in LA. The only other place I could probably see him going, I could see him in Cleveland with LeBron. But in saying that, I think that LeBron's gone. I really think that LeBron's out of there. But yeah, Playoff P is out of there. Melo will be back. Russell Westbrook will be back. I guess Billy Donovan will be back. I don't know if the organization, maybe they decide to look at Billy Donovan and say, well, you know what? He can get us to a certain point, but he won't be able to get us to the top. And, maybe they'll fire him or something. But I don't know, man. As far as winning the championship with Russell Westbrook, I honestly believe that Russell Westbrook will probably just go down as one of those guys that, that they were very good, but they just didn't win a championship. Tracy McGrady, Hall of Fame. We all know about T-Mac, right? Hall of Famer, great player, didn't win a championship. We know what's up with Charles Barkley, right? Great player, didn't win a championship. I just think that he'll end up going into that bucket. Another thing too that we're losing sight of here with Russell Westbrook. How long is his athleticism going to take him? How far is that really going to take him? I mean, he's 29, he's still young, but do we think that he'll be like LeBron and he'll just be able to just not get hurt and his athleticism will carry him to the promised land? I don't know. But, I think that he'll end up being just one of those guys. Those talented point guards, athletic players who had a good career, who had numbers. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. But he's not going to win a championship. Now, can you win a championship with him? I guess theoretically you could say yeah. You feel me? Because you can win a championship with anybody on the roster. Hell, what's the guy's name? Darko Milicic. Used to play for the Pistons. It's like number 1 overall or something. Man, he won a championship just being on the roster. Man, you can win a championship with him on your roster, but could you win a championship with him playing the way that he plays now? And could you win a championship with him, leading the way? I don't know. Man. Russell Westbrook, you hear a lot of people compliment him as far as the way he plays and the passion that he has and all that stuff, bro, which is great. If I'm out there and we going to war with these big, tall dudes, 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet dudes running up and down the court, I want somebody with a little dog in them. No problem with that. No problem with that at all. But at the same time, I feel like, and especially since he's the point guard, all right, I think that it has to be controlled. There's nothing wrong with being aggressive, nothing wrong with having some emotion, but it has to be controlled, man. You got to be able to control it. I don't know if Russell Westbrook can control it good enough, man. He seems too out of control, and I know that that's probably just because he really wants to win and he's really passionate about the game. He really wants to stick it to you, but I don't know if you're gonna win a championship like that. I just don't know. I don't know if you're gonna win a championship like that and you the main guy. A lot of people saying that Carmelo looks washed, which he does. And Paul George, he's had some good moments. I mean, when they've won, he's looked really good. When they've lost, he's looked really bad. But if Chris Paul was on their team, do you think that they look that bad? Do you? If Ben Simmons was on that team, orchestrating the offense, do you think they look that bad? Maybe they would. Maybe Melo would still look washed. Maybe Paul George, was still underachieved. Maybe the team was still underachieved. But I think that that's a legitimate question. Because I just don't know if Russell Westbrook's uber aggressiveness will really get you far. It'll get you wins. Right? It'll get you into the playoffs. But will it take you to the promised land? Will it take you to the championship? And he still has this problem, in the fourth quarter, which I made the comparison to Call of Duty for y'all who ain't played Call of Duty before. Call of Duty, they had these, they have like equipment or whatever that you can use to basically mess with the other team or whatever, to try to put the advantage to try to give you the advantage. So they have this thing called a scrambler, and you would put the scrambler down. You could put the scrambler anywhere, and then when an enemy walks into that territory, their radar would go, it would fizzle out. You feel me? Now, as soon as they step out of that area, it would go back to normal. But as soon as they get in that area, it gets all fizzled. They can't see anything. They can't see their radar. That's what's happening with Russell Westbrook in the fourth quarter. And it's been happening his whole career. I think players see that, man. We see it. Kevin Durant saw it. Even though I believe that Kevin Durant was a big part of that whole 3-1 meltdown against the Warriors, just as much as Russell Westbrook was. But, yeah, the whole fourth quarter being out of control, uber aggressiveness, man, I mean, that can only get you so far. It's one of the reasons why I'm down on Baker Mayfield. If you are running my team, man, I need for you to be in control of yourself. I don't need you out here, telling the other team what you're going to do to them before the game. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield. I don't need Russell Westbrook in a press conference talking about how he's going to shut Ricky Rubio down. Out of all the players, Ricky Rubio. I ain't serious. I don't need you doing that. I need for you to be in control. I need for you to be cool, calm, and collected. I don't need you spazzing out on people if you're the leader of my team. Now, if you the 8th guy off the bench, I don't really care. If you my power forward, I don't know. I really don't care. But my point guard, I need for you to be a little boy in control. I need for you to be in control. You can be aggressive, but it has to be controlled. And I don't think that Russell Westbrook can control it. And I think other players see that. Like, Paul George is gone. Like, he's out of there. He's not coming back. Can we truly say that Russell Westbrook elevates other players? Can we say that? I don't think we can say that. Like I brought up the example earlier. I mean, do you honestly think that Paul George and Carmelo Anthony would look that bad with somebody like Chris Paul running the point? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that they would look that bad. Now, a lot of people may point to Billy Donovan and say, well, Billy Donovan is really a defensive coach. So he can't be that creative on. Okay, maybe so. I'm not finna sit up here and act like I'm a basketball junkie and that I could break down the tape and tell you whether you're right or wrong. I mean, you may have a valid point in saying that. But eventually, man, we have to start looking at Russell Westbrook and say, man, look here. Victor Oladipo, he looked bad with you last year. He looked like a damn near superstar this year. It's really gonna look bad on him if Paul George, wherever he goes next year, he balls out. It's really gonna look bad on him. It is really gonna look bad on Westbrook. If Paul George goes to LA and he's vintage Indiana Paul George, all-star, two-way player, it's going to look real bad on Russell Westbrook. It's going to look real bad on him. I don't see, first of all, OKC isn't that attractive of a destination anyway. It's not like people are flocking to go to OKC for anything, to be honest. It's not like a LA or a New York or a Boston, Miami. As far as geographically, nobody's really gonna flock there as far as free agents. And then they see the way Russell Westbrook playing. I don't think that people are going to want to flock to OKC to play with Russell Westbrook. I just don't see it. Could you imagine somebody like Kawhi going to play with Russell Westbrook? Do you think he would go play with Russell Westbrook? I don't think so. Could you see who else? I don't know. A guy like, LeBron James, would he go down? I don't think so. So, I think that you could potentially win. You could win a championship with Russell Westbrook on the roster. You just ain't gonna win with him playing the way that he plays now. He's gonna have to change the way he plays, which ain't gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen. The guy took like a total of 80-something shots the last 2 games. Russell Westbrook's, he's not a good shooter. He's not a good three-point shooter. Why are you constantly taking three-pointers? See, that's their aggressiveness. That's that uncontrolled aggressiveness. Wanting to prove people wrong. Wanting to show people that, hey, look at me. I can do it. Yeah, I don't need Kevin Durant. Screw Kevin Durant. Look at me. I'm going to go out here and average a triple-double for the whole season. Now, that's another thing, too. A lot of people get on Russell Westbrook. Well, some people get on him about the triple-double, and they try to question whether it's manufactured or not. And me personally, I believe that some of it is. I believe that some of it is manufactured. Do I believe that teammates get out the way because they want to see him inflate his rebounding up? Yeah. Maybe they're a little more trigger happy when he passes them the ball, so he can get in the set. Yeah, I believe that. Now, in saying that, I don't believe all of it's manufactured. I mean, you average a triple double for the entire year. All of it's not manufactured. You feel me? I compare that to the Patriots. You know, like as much as I hate the Patriots, as much as I believe that they're a bunch of cheaters up there in Boston, you know, all of it's not cheating. A lot of it is, but all of it's not cheating. I mean, you've been that successful for that long, man. It's not all cheating. Like, you got something in place that works. So, you know, you average a triple double for the whole season. All of it's not manufactured. Some of it's just being in the right position. Some of it's just his talent. He's just hella talented. But yeah, man. You know, with OKC, Russell Westbrook, I just believe that he'll go down in history as just one of those guys who just never could win a championship for whatever reason or another. Whether it's because he was a ball hog, if you want to call him a ball hog, you know, just you know, not self-aware, lack of self-awareness. Those athletic point guards that kind of come into the league and they don't really win anything. The Steve Francis of the world. You know, I don't believe you're gonna win a championship with Damian Lillard. You know, Derrick Rose. Like I said, Stevie Francis. I mean, I think he's just gonna fall into that mold, man. He's gonna be an Allen Iverson. Uber talented, great scorer, great guy. I'm pretty sure Russell Westbrook's a great guy off the court, great husband, great father, all that. But as it stands right now, I don't see him ever winning a championship. So that's my take on it. Yeah. So, what else is there to talk about, man? So, tonight, the Cavs got them a win against the Raptors. They up 2-0 now. And I'm not surprised in the least bit. Toronto kind of reminds me of they remind me of the Trailblazers. I think they're kind of like they're mirror organizations, especially when it comes to the backcourt. I mean, Portland, they got Dame Lillard and C.J. McCollum, and Toronto, they have DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. Now, I believe that the Trailblazers have the better tandem, but you look at them and, you know, man, they kind of just float around. They have some success during the season. They have some moments. Kyle Lowry's had moments. DeMar DeRozan has had moments. C.J. McCollum, he's had moments. Damian Lillard has had some damn good moments. But at the end of the day, we already know what's going to happen. They're going to get eliminated from the playoffs. Hell, probably second, maybe even the third round if they make it. They're going to get eliminated. You not that C.J. McCollum, Dame Lillard ain't taking no team, you know, 7 games to the finals, you know, to win the finals. This is not DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. They not going to the championship. Okay, and winning against the Warriors in 6 games. It's not happening. So I fully expect the Cavs. I mean, the Raptors, they may get back into it. Pride may kick in. But, I mean, the Cavs have had the Raptors number for a minute. And LeBron is being LeBron. I mean, he had, like 40-some points tonight, 40 points. Kevin Love had 31. You know, people chipped in. And the Raptors, they are the Raptors. They're the baby dinosaurs, as everybody keeps calling them. That's who they are. They're not going to get anywhere, just like the Trailblazers. They're not going to get anywhere. They're just going to be stuck in, you know, second round purgatory, playoff purgatory. You feel me? They're not going to get anywhere. Now, I give you this, you know, with these last 2 games, the Cavs have been playing better. I give them that, but I still believe those two things are gonna happen that I've been saying. Either they're gonna lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, or they're gonna get smoked by the Warriors in the finals. Either one of those two things is gonna happen. But I do fully expect them to beat the Raptors. And tonight just proved it just proved that the Raptors are not they ain't about that life, man. They ain't ready for that. They ain't ready. They just not. They'll never be ready. I mean, they're just not. You're not going anywhere with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan as your two main guys. Just not. Not saying that they aren't good players. Not saying that they aren't great players. They're all stars. But yeah, you're not getting far. You're not getting too far with those guys. So it is what it is with that. And the Warriors. Y'all saw the Warriors play, right? Have y'all been watching them? I told y'all nobody's beating the Warriors. Okay? Nobody is beating the Warriors. I repeat, nobody's beating the Warriors, okay? Nobody's beating those guys, man. They don't look very rusty to me. Remember everybody toward the end of the season? Oh yeah, they could be had. They look vulnerable this year. Hey, better watch out for those Timberwolves or watch out for the Rockets. I think the Rockets could beat those guys. Nah, pimp. No. No. Not happening, man. Did y'all see Chef Curry? Did y'all see Chef Curry the other night, man? 28 points in 27 minutes. 5 of 10 from 3-point land. Come on, man. And to be honest, I didn't like Steph Curry at first. I ain't like him. There's something about him that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But over the past year and a half, I've become a real big fan of his. I like the way he plays. I like him. I mean, he came in the first freaking field goal was a 3-pointer. Came off a screen, money. As Stephen A. like to say, man, he pulling up from 30. So, the Warriors, man, that nobody's beating those guys, okay? The Pelicans, and even then, the Pelicans played a pretty good game. The Pelicans haven't necessarily been playing bad. It's just the Warriors are just they're better. They're just better. They're just that damn good. There's only two ways you're going to beat the Warriors, man. Either they're going to beat themselves, or you just going to have to play a perfect game. That's the only way it's going to happen. Those guys full strength, nobody's beating them this year. The Cavs, nope. The Sixers, nope. The Rockets, nope. Nobody's beating them. Like Jeff Van Gundy said, man, they roll that same team out next year. Nobody's beating them next year. Nobody. It's nothing you can do, man, when those bullets start flying, bro. When those bullets start flying, and ain't nowhere for you to go. When Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and then you got guys coming off the bench, Nick Young, Dave, bro, it's just nothing that you can do. And then you got the X Factor, Zaza Pachulia out here tripping folks and injuring people and ending their careers and ending their season. You feel me? It ain't nothing that you can do with it, man. They just come at you from all directions. They come at you, man, so hard. They put so much pressure on you because they have so many good players. Especially they have so many good shooters, man. Between Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, you can make an argument that those guys should go down as, two of the top 5 shooters ever. And they're on the same team. Nobody's beating the Warriors, man. So all that talk that everybody's doing coming into the postseason about the Warriors and, are they vulnerable and are they interested? We've found the answer. Made quick work of the Spurs. They're about to make quick work of the Pelicans. What more can you say? And when they go to the next round, they're going to make quick work of the next team that they play, which will probably be the Rockets. So, that's that, man. Switching gears here. Let's talk about the NFL. So Jason Witten officially retired. He officially retired today. So he will join ESPN on Monday Night Football, and he has officially retired. Now, you guys remember, if you don't remember, you should go back and listen to the episode where I talk about the Cowboys and what they should do in the draft. And I was a big proponent of, those guys actually selecting Hayden Hurst, the tight end from South Carolina, who ultimately got selected by the Ravens. Because I felt like Jason Witten was, which I don't think I was in the minority. I think everybody pretty much knew this. That I felt like Jason Witten was slowing down, to say the least. Granted, he's never been fast, so he was really slowing down. I felt like they needed to get young at the tight end position. I felt like they needed to give Dak a toy like that to play with. I still would love to see Dak with an athletic tight end. I would love to see him with a Jimmy Graham. You feel me? An Antonio Gates type receiver. A vertical receiver. A receiver that can threaten you downfield. Threaten you up the seam. Who can win against linebackers. Run past them. Like I would love to see Dak with something like that. Now, I'm not necessarily against the pick. The linebacker from Boise State. Now, I don't know a lot about him. I'm not necessarily against that because they needed to get a linebacker. I said that pick should be the linebacker or tight end. But if I was them, I would have went tight end. I would have went Hayden Hurst. But I'm not mad at that pick because your season cannot depend on Sean Lee staying healthy all 16 games. I mean, you have to come up with some type of plan. And Sean Lee is not necessarily young. He's not, it's not like 25. I mean, he's been in the league for a minute. He's got some mileage. So I can see replacing him. But yeah, man, Jason Witten retiring. Will he go to the Hall of Fame? Yeah, he'll go to the Hall of Fame. And I was listening to Undisputed earlier, and they made some good points. Now, I remember Bo Money making this point a long time ago, so they were basically they were preaching to the choir when I was listening to them. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. I remember Bo Money made this point a long time ago. And he said, Jason Witten, there's no denying that he has the numbers. He has some numbers. He definitely has the numbers. His numbers are going to get him into the Hall of Fame. His numbers are going to get him into the Hall of Fame. Not saying that he wasn't a great player, but it's just, when you think about Hall of Famers, you think about those guys who were transcended. They were transcended and they were dominant at their positions. I mean, you look at a Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was dominant. Antonio Gates, dominant. There was just times where you just couldn't stop Antonio Gates. Tony Gonzalez, dominant. There's just times where you just couldn't stop him. Jerry Rice, dominant. Like, you just couldn't stop Jerry Rice. Like, those types of players, when you look at Hall of Famers, how dominant were they? A Warren Sapp. Can't block him. You look at a future Hall of Famer, Aaron Donald. If he keeps it up. Just dominant, man. Dominating the position. The J.J. Watts of the world. Future Hall of Fame. Dominant. When you say their name, can you put dominant? Like, when you go into that game, the first person on your radar should be that person. You feel me? It should be that person. Like, can we honestly say that every team going up against the Cowboys, the first person on their radar was Jason Witten? I mean, were you that concerned about Jason Witten? Now, there's somebody out there saying, well, maybe they should have been, because the guy has like 11,000 yards, 60-some touchdowns, over 1,000 receptions. I mean, maybe so. But, my thing is, when you look at him, how dominant was he really? And if he was that dominant and he was that talented, I mean, should his team have gotten to the playoffs a little more? Should they have had a little more success? Now, granted, he isn't a quarterback. He isn't the coach. He can't play all the positions. He's just one guy. But when you think about Hall of Famers and you think about those guys, you think about the tight ends, think about those skill position players. I mean, they have championships behind their name. They have playoff wins behind their names. So, as far as Jason Witten, man, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. And I don't know if it's necessarily because he was a dominant tight end. He's going to have the numbers. And I also think that this plays a really big factor into it, too. The fact that he's just a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Jason Witten. Jason Witten's gonna pull up in that sedan, and he's gonna take the kids out to the park, and they're gonna go fishing. He's gonna go grilling. He's gonna pull a grill out, and he's gonna read everybody funny bedtime stories before they go to bed, and have midnight snacks, and roast marshmallows on the fireplace. Like, he's a great guy, right? He I think that's part of it too. The fact that he's just a really nice guy. You can't say anything bad about the guy. If Jason Witten still had the numbers that he had, and he was a bad person, or a person with a messed up personality, then I don't think that people would be so quick to say, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, I remember a guy who he didn't have an attitude that everybody liked, but he had the numbers behind it. And you had some people saying that he shouldn't be a Hall of Fame. Terrell Owens. Now, he finally got into the Hall of Fame this year, but my point is, depending upon how liked you are, that could factor into stuff like this, which is a shame. It should be about what you did on the field. But whatever. Yeah, part of it is that he's just a nice guy. He's just a nice guy. Jason Witten. Nice, wholesome, humble, nice guy. So, in saying this, man, I'm not trying to take away from what he did. I mean, let's see, I'm looking at his stats right here. He finished his career with 1,152 yards, 12,448. No, my bad. 1,152 receptions. My bad. 12,448 yards, 68 touchdowns. I mean, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Now, you look at somebody like Tony Gonzalez, 13,000. Well, my bad. I can't get my damn numbers right tonight. 1,325 receptions, 15,127 yards, 111 touchdowns. Antonio Gates, 927 receptions, 11,508 yards, 114 touchdowns. So these guys are in the 100 touchdown club. Jason Witten, he got some yards, he got receptions, but he ain't got the touchdown. I don't know. You can divvy that up and decide how you want to interpret that any which way you want to. But I just felt like Jason Witten was not a dominant tight end. And I think that counts for something when it comes to the Hall of Fame. How dominant were you? Were you really dominant? Numbers can lie. Numbers can definitely lie. I think the most accurate, the quarterback with the most accurate, season or whatever, or finished the season with the highest accuracy ever was like Sam Bradford. Like 70% or something. And that offense was anemic. Threw screens all day. Threw it to the running back all game. But he'll go down in the history books. It will look good. It will look good on the stat sheet. 70%. So, anyway, though, man, Jason Witten, whatever. No, I'm not hating at all. Cowboys fans. There's one thing about it too, man, with Jason Witten, bro. Yeah, you say something about Jason Witten, they get on you. I've seen it on Twitter plenty of times, boy. Boy, they be on it. Especially when Bo Money was talking about this, but they be on it. You don't want to say nothing bad about Jason Witten. You don't want to say nothing about Brett. You don't want to say nothing bad about Brett Favre. You do not want to say anything bad about Jason Witten, partner, cause they'll be on you. All right. So watch yourself out here. But anyway, that's all I got today, man. That's all I'm talking about. I'll definitely be back on Saturday with the Saturday podcast. Like I said, had some things going on last weekend, so I didn't get a chance to do it. But Saturday podcast, we'll be back. I'll be doing it on my phone, and it'll just be some random thoughts of mine. So I'll definitely have that lined up for you. And I'll be back next Tuesday. So hope you guys have a good weekend. It's Cinco de Mayo out here in these streets, so be careful. If you go out and have some fun, drink or whatever, just be safe, man. Be safe out here. Be aware of your surroundings. And just be safe. Just have a good weekend. Good, clean, fun weekend. I will holler at you guys on Saturday. Peace.